Hey folks, Shawn over at the Annuity Expert. In today's video, I'm going to kind of go over the application process when you're buying in an annuity. We had a visitor yesterday wanted to know how you buy and apply for an annuity. And he's really coming less from a learning standpoint and more of a like, hey, is this a scam type of situation? And I don't blame him for asking these questions. So I thought, yeah, I'll go out and put out a video just kind of going over how the process works. The first thing that you should know is you should make sure anybody that you talk to is a licensed annuity producer, okay? You should know up front that you should not be sending that financial professional any of your money whatsoever, okay? If you're going to cut a check, it should go directly to the insurance company. If you are doing a transfer from another financial institution, on the application, there's going to be what's called a transfer form. It's a 1035/direct transfer /rollover form. We just call it the transfer form. And then you're going to put in where the money's going to be coming from, and it goes up to the application with the insurance company. And then the insurance company will do all the rest for you. They'll set up your annuity the way it needs to be set up. They'll make sure if you're going from a 401k, it'll be rolled over to an IRA, or IRA to IRA, Roth IRA to Roth IRA. They'll make sure everything is set up in the manner that you want set up. Okay, so getting that all the way. Basically, what you're going to do is you're going to fill out a secured electronic application. The software that most insurance companies use is called Firelight. And then here, what we typically do is we'll go. So we're right outside of Atlanta, and then we're going to go to our jurisdiction, and then we're going to say, hey, what kind of annuity do we want? Let's just say we want a let's go fixed index annuity, okay? And we'll choose a carrier, and we're going to go Athene, and then we just pick out the annuity that we've recommended to you and the one you agreed to purchase. And then you go next, details, excuse me, new application, test new application, create. It's creating. And these applications, once you submit them, they'll go directly up to the insurance company, and they'll have your information, and then they'll go through the Suitability Department. So as you can see here, you're going through it. You're going to fill out your name, all your info here. Okay, next page. And we usually do one of two things here at the Annuity Expert. We either send you the application to fill out on your own, or we'll have our admin get on the phone with you and help assist you with filling out the application. It's really your choice. Product. Sometimes they have a wizard. Yeah, so here's the wizard here. So to tell you, hey, everything in red, is this going to be set up as an individual, a trust? Is it a company opening up the annuity, an inherited IRA, trust inherited IRA? Then you're going to say, hey, annuity tax type, if it's a non-qualified annuity, meaning it's being funded with after-tax money, IRA, inherited IRA, then there's traditional IRA, Roth IRA, SEP IRA. It's all the different IRAs, okay? Then you got military duty, electronic delivery authorization. This is some people don't want a thick contract sent to them. They want the electronic version where they can get it off their portal and download it. This is what that's about. Producer authorization, trusted contacts. Let's see what else. You put in, are you American citizen? Do you have an existing life insurance policy? They want to know if you own a life insurance policy or an annuity contract. Basically, they're asking, are you replacing an existing life insurance policy, like if you have a cash value life insurance policy, or a old annuity with a new annuity? This is going to trigger new forms. These new forms are going to be for the Suitability Team. And the idea is that the Suitability Team at the insurance company is making sure that the new annuity is going to put you, the consumer, in a better situation than your previous annuity, right? So if you wanted a lifetime income, they're making sure you're getting more income in the new annuity versus the old one, or more upside, or maybe you're in a variable annuity and you want out of the market and you want to protect your assets, or maybe you want to save on fees, or maybe you've been in a garbage annuity product and that hasn't given you much returns and you want something better because you got sold a crappy lemon of an annuity. So that's why they're asking those questions. Is the owner the annuitant? Most cases, yes. Let's see what else. Then you put here your beneficiaries. Look, you can put as many as you want. If you got more than 10, they'll give you a sheet to fill out. Do you want any of the beneficiaries' payouts to be restricted? Okay, and then you can put total primary beneficiaries and then your contingent beneficiaries. So let's just say you're married. Maybe you're going to put your wife as the primary beneficiary and your children as the contingent beneficiary. Or if you're joint annuitants, maybe you're putting your kids as the primary beneficiary and then you're putting your grandchildren as the contingent beneficiaries, right? So you could do that all here. And then if I trigger this, it'll tell you, hey, well, what's the percentage? So a lot of people, what they do is you got 4 kids, you're divvying up the beneficiaries, 25% child 1, 25% 2, 3, and then 4, right? And it'll get paid directly to them, right? So there's none of this fighting over the annuity money. It is just black and white. Okay, and then you go down here. I have my producer information here. Okay, phone number. I have to confirm that you have existing life insurance or annuity contract. Is there going to be additional agents on the application? Number of funding sources. So let's just say you have, I don't know, 2 IRAs coming from Charles Schwab and Edward Jones. It's coming from 2 different places. You're putting that in there. And then if you're adding a rider, you can put that there, like a lifetime income rider or a liquidity rider or an enhanced bonus rider, or want more upside type of rider. Owner name, non-natural owners, if you have an irrevocable trust or revocable trust, or a non-natural owner other than a trust, put that here. Put your employment status. I hope I'm not boring you with all this stuff, but this gentleman requested that we make a video about it. So then they're going to ask you the source of income, household wages. This is total household. So if you've got 2 working spouses, this is what they're looking for. They're looking for the total of both spouses, not each, right? So you want to count that in here. They want to know how much money's coming in, how much money's going out for bills. They want to know what your tax bracket is. Basically, the reason why they're asking for this information is they're making sure you're not a little old lady putting her every last dime into an annuity and then she has nothing liquid. We had a gentleman get rejected last week. His boss was giving him a small MIGA annuity, and the gentleman no longer worked for that employer, but that was part of the agreement, right? And the former employee lives in the basement of his parents' home, and he's not collecting any cash flow. He's got $500 to his name, and his parents are taking care of him, right? So the insurance company rejected him because he doesn't have any money coming in, right? And he has hardly anything in savings. So this is the whole point of the Suitability Department. I've said this in other videos. When buying an annuity, it's a 2-way street. The buyer has to feel warm and fuzzy about buying the annuity. The insurance company has to feel warm and fuzzy about selling that annuity to that person, right? So it's not the customer's always right situation with annuities. It's more of a matchmaker more than anything. You ask questions like, hey, do you have any financial, just basically some stuff, your financial experience. How long do you plan to keep this annuity? Stuff like that. Then you'll go over your liquid assets. They're typically not going to go into your bank and look through all that stuff. They want you to put that down. They may request some statements if they see something that's fishy. The other thing about the Suitability Department is that they're really there to protect against anti-money laundering as well. So all this stuff is really important. And the more you can put in there, the better. Rule of thumb, most insurance companies want to see a minimum of $87,500 of liquid assets as a total household for emergencies. Okay. So you go through here, suitability, then we go source of funds, why you're buying the annuity. There's even a form here where I have to disclose my commission and why I recommended the annuity to the consumer, right? It's part of the best interest rule. It's really there to protect you, the consumer. You're going to go down here. You know, how I'm paid for my work, fees, commission, you know, stuff like that. And then it's going to go into like riders and the transfer form and stuff like that. And then when you're done, both parties review the application and make sure everything's accurate. Then it goes into electronic signatures. So I have to sign, you, the consumer, have to sign, and then once the signature's there, I click submit, and it goes directly to the insurance company. And then from there, you'll generate a policy number within 24 hours. And then it's going to get to the Suitability Department at the insurance company. They're the gatekeepers. They're going to make sure that, you know, you are suitable for their annuity and for their insurance company. Then once you get through suitability, then they'll send out transfer. They'll either say, hey, cut us a check. We've got your policy number. Here's the policy number. Have the check for the benefit, your name. And then you put the policy number in the notes on the check. And you send the check up to the insurance company, and then you issue it, and then they mail you a policy or email you a policy or both. And then if you got a transfer form, you'll fill out a transfer form. Hey, this money's coming from Fidelity. And you'll put your Fidelity account, you put your name, your account information, how much money you want to transfer. And they'll send that off to Fidelity. And then Fidelity will get it, and they'll say, okay, and they'll let the money outgoing directly to the insurance company, typically via wire, some write checks. And then you issue the policy, and then a contract policy will be mailed or emailed or both to you. And that's how you get an annuity. Once again, do not send money to the financial professional, right? Send it directly to the insurance company only. It mitigates the risk so much in terms of fraud. Send it to the insurance company. Or if you have the capability, have the insurance company request the funds on your behalf. So if you're in a savings account or a brokerage account or whatever, let them do the work so nobody is touching your money, okay? So I hope this helped. This is for you, Gary. If you've got any questions, let us know or leave a comment below, and we'll catch you on the next video. See ya.